you're tired. You've been waiting for an answer, a breakthrough, a sign that you're on the right path. Maybe it's about your career, a relationship, or a health struggle that's left you feeling lost and alone. You pray, you hope, you try to stay strong, but the silence is deafening. You wonder if God is listening, if the universe cares, if you're missing something everyone else seems to understand. I know that feeling. I've been there, staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night, begging for a sign, any sign that I'm not alone in this. But what if I told you the sign you've been praying for is already on its way? What if the answer is closer than you think, but you just need a new set of eyes to see it? The divine doesn't speak in riddles. We just misunderstand the language. Let's learn to listen together. We often expect signs to be dramatic, a booming voice, a burning bush, a miracle that leaves no room for doubt. But most of the time, the divine speaks in subtler, more personal ways. There are 5 languages of signs, and learning to recognize them can change everything. The first language is the whisper of repetition. Have you ever noticed the same number, phrase, or topic showing up everywhere? Maybe you keep seeing the word move on billboards, in conversations, in books, or perhaps the same Bible verse pops up in your feed, in a sermon, and in a random conversation with a friend. This isn't coincidence, it's a whisper. The universe, or God, is gently nudging you, repeating the message until you finally pay attention. I remember a season when I saw the number 444 everywhere. At first, I dismissed it, but when it kept showing up on receipts, clocks, license plates, I finally stopped and asked, "What are you trying to tell me?" That's when clarity came. The second language is the gentle nudge of intuition. Sometimes, in the quiet of prayer or meditation, you feel a sudden conviction, a knowing that doesn't make sense to your logical mind. Maybe you feel compelled to call someone, to take a different route home, or to say yes to an opportunity that scares you. This inner voice is often the divine speaking directly to your spirit. I've learned to trust those nudges even when they seem irrational. Once, I felt an unexplainable urge to visit a friend I hadn't seen in years. When I arrived, I found out they were going through a crisis and needed support. That nudge wasn't random, it was a sign. The third language is the unexpected messenger. Sometimes the answer comes through a person, a book, or even a stranger. You might be struggling with a decision, and out of nowhere, someone shares a story or advice that speaks directly to your situation. It's as if they're reading your mind. I remember once, after praying for direction, a friend called and said, "I don't know why, but I feel like I need to tell you this." Their words were the exact answer I needed. The divine often uses people as messengers, so stay open to wisdom from unexpected sources. The fourth language is the blocked path. We don't like this one, but it's just as important. Sometimes a door slams shut right before a breakthrough. You might lose a job, a relationship might end, or a plan falls apart at the last minute. It feels like failure, but often It's divine redirection. A closed door is a sign. I once applied for a job I desperately wanted. I made it to the final round only to be rejected. I was devastated. But weeks later, a better opportunity appeared, one I never would have considered if the first door hadn't closed. Looking back, I see the rejection was a sign, not a punishment. The fifth language is the physical confirmation, the peace and rest that follows a right decision, even before the outcome is known. Sometimes, after you make a choice, you feel a profound sense of calm, as if a weight has been lifted. This peace is a sign that you're aligned with the divine will. I felt it after difficult conversations, after letting go of something I thought I needed, after stepping into the unknown. The peace didn't always make sense, but it was real, and it was the confirmation I needed to keep going. These 5 languages, repetition, intuition, messengers, blocked paths, and peace, are how the divine speaks. The signs are all around us, but we need to learn the language. Sometimes the sign is a whisper, not a shout. Sometimes it's a closed door, not an open one. Sometimes it's a feeling of peace, not a guarantee of success. The key is to stay open, to pay attention, and to trust that you are being guided, even when you don't understand the path. If the signs are everywhere, why do we miss them? The answer is both simple and complicated. There are 3 main blockers that keep us from recognizing divine guidance: the noise of the world, the trap of specificity, and the fear of action. The first blocker is the noise of the world. We live in a world that never stops talking. Social media, news, endless to-do lists, and constant notifications fill our minds with clutter. The sign is a whisper, but our lives are a shout. We rarely make space for silence, for reflection, for listening. I've missed countless signs because I was too busy, too distracted, too caught up in the noise to notice the gentle nudge. The solution? Create intentional moments of quiet. Turn off your phone. Step away from the chaos and listen. The sign is waiting in the silence. The second blocker is the trap of specificity. We often tell the divine exactly how the sign must appear. If it's meant to be, let a raven land on my window. We set conditions, ultimatums, and expectations. When the sign appears in a different form, we dismiss it. I once prayed for a clear sign about a job. I wanted a specific email, a certain phrase, a dramatic confirmation. Instead, I got a gentle nudge, a blocked path, and a sense of peace. I almost missed the sign because it didn't look the way I expected. The divine rarely fits into our boxes. Stay open to the unexpected. The third blocker is the fear of action. Sometimes we recognize the sign, but we're afraid of what it means. The sign points to a path that requires change, risk, or letting go of comfort. We deny the sign because we fear what comes after recognition. I've been there, knowing what I needed to do, but hesitating because it was hard. The truth is, the sign is only the beginning. It's an invitation to act, to step out in faith, to trust that the next step will be revealed after you move. These blockers, noise, specificity, and fear, are not insurmountable. They are invitations to grow, to trust, to surrender. The divine is patient, always sending signs, always guiding, always waiting for us to listen. The breakthrough comes when we learn to quiet the noise, release our expectations, and find the courage to act. So, how do we become more receptive to signs? How do we prepare our hearts and lives to recognize and act on divine guidance? There are 3 simple, actionable steps. Cultivate sacred silence. Keep a sign journal and have the courage to test the waters. First, cultivate sacred silence. Set aside 15 minutes each day for genuine silence. No background noise, no structured thoughts, no distractions. Just you, your breath, and the presence of the divine. This is not about emptying your mind, but about making space for the whisper. In the quiet, you'll notice patterns, nudges, and ideas that get drowned out by the noise of daily life. I started this practice years ago, and it changed everything. The answers didn't always come immediately, but over time, I became more attuned to the subtle ways the divine speaks. Second, the sign journal. Create a journal where you record every moment of repetition, every deep intuition, every unexpected messenger, every blocked path, and every moment of peace. Don't judge or analyze, just record. Over time, you'll start to see patterns. Maybe you notice that every time you're about to make a big decision, a certain phrase shows up. Or maybe you realize that your intuition is strongest in the morning, or that blocked paths always lead to better outcomes. The journal becomes a map of your spiritual journey, a record of the ways you are being guided. Third, the courage to test the waters. The sign is the direction, not the entire map. Take the first small step the sign suggests and see what happens. If you feel a nudge to call someone, call them. If a door closes, look for the window that opens. If you feel peace after making a decision, trust it and move forward. Action is part of the reception process. The sign is an invitation, not a guarantee. The breakthrough comes when you step out in faith, trusting that the next step will be revealed after you move. These steps, silence, journaling, and action, are simple, but they require intention. They are the practical tools that turn inspiration into transformation. The divine is always speaking, always guiding, always sending signs. Our job is to listen, to record, and to act. You are seen. You are heard. The sign is imminent. The divine is not distant or silent. Guidance is being sent to you right now in ways you may not expect. The breakthrough you've been praying for is closer than you think. All you need is a new set of eyes to see it, a quiet heart to receive it, and the courage to act on it. Have you ever missed a sign only to realize it later? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be the encouragement someone else needs. If this message has spoken to you, take a moment to like and subscribe so you never miss another word of hope and guidance. Let's close with a prayer. God, thank you for seeing us, for hearing us, for sending signs even when we're too distracted or afraid to notice. Give us clarity, peace, and the courage to see and act on the guidance you send. Help us to quiet the noise, release our expectations, and step out in faith. May every person listening feel your presence, your love, and your direction. Amen. The sign is coming. Don't ignore it. You are not alone on this journey. The breakthrough is on its way.